Bene ragazzi, siamo appena arrivati a Gstaad per il lancio più importante dell'anno di Piaget, per i 150 anni del marchio. Come vedete, l'orologio che ho scelto al polso non è casuale, ma venite a scoprire con me di cosa si tratta. Hi everyone, I'm Fabrizio. I'm today with Bernard Forot, Head Patrimonio of Piaget.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. It's a pleasure to be there with you today.
It's a pleasure. It's a very important occasion, 150 years of Piaget.
Yes, indeed. It's a wonderful anniversary, and we are very happy to start the celebration with a wonderful new model.
Yeah.
That is a long story.
Yeah, that's a long story. And every time I get to know someone new, I always ask about the background. How did they get passionate about watchmaking? How was the case for you?
So, well, the case is more or less linked with my father, who was an artisan, but he used to work in the wood. So he was making furniture, he was making stairs, and I have always been seeing, I would say, drawing and sketches at home. So when I was a bit older, I did some studies and was interested in marketing, but in marketing of objects that has a meaning, such as watch or jewelry. So I started my career at Cartier first, then I moved to Piaget, and I've been able to work for a long period of time at Piaget because I am almost 20 years of experience in Piaget. And I was first at marketing, and then I moved to patrimony, which I am very fond of because I'm working on wonderful pieces and stories, and also crafts and design. So it's a great opportunity. Also, especially because Piaget has a rich history.
Yeah, indeed. I think you do one of the most interesting jobs, really, because finding all the vintage watches, finding all the new design that maybe were used in the past is something so appealing.
So we have a discovery almost every week. We found something that we did not know. So it's exciting.
Yes, this is amazing. So we were talking before about the Polo. So Polo 79 is the new release for the anniversary. And you were telling me, so we have four different watches, but let's start from this one.
So indeed, in fact, Piaget has decided in 1979 to launch a new model of watch named Polo. This is the very first time that a watch had a name at Piaget. Before, Piaget was considered to be a style, so the family used to say, well, you were a Piaget, but we were not naming the model. And Piaget, Monsieur Piaget, who used to travel a lot in the US, and he felt the need to have a new watch that will also answer the needs of a clientele that has evolved and was a bit different from Europe, a bit more sporty, a bit more casual chic, but also in a period where I would say social status was something to express and to show. So he has decided to work on this design. So the very first model to be drawn is the square one. This design already existed in the Maison at Piaget, but what was completely new, this is the bracelet. Because here you have a Piaget signature. It's really the integration of the dial, the case, and the bracelet with exactly the same design. And Monsieur Piaget used to say, it's not a watch, it's a bracelet with a watch. So the bracelet is key in this version. And this one has really been launched together with this one, but this one was just designed after, but they were launched at the same time together. I think this one was more what was expected by the clientele, while this one was more a Piaget signature at first.
Yeah, for the Piaget chic, let's say.
Absolutely.
That.
So when they were launched in the US at the same time, both for male and women, because Piaget has always been interested in the couple offer, this one started very aggressively in terms of sales, but suddenly was replaced by this one in kind of a top-selling offer. I think probably because this one what was the Piaget clientele used to expect, while this one was probably what new clientele and newcomer to the Maison was interested in.
Yeah, this is for sure a very important watch because it became the introduction for new clients and new people at Piaget.
Yeah. Because Piaget in Europe was more considered to be dress watches that you used to wear more at night or for dinner or for events. Thanks to ultra-thin movement, they were pretty discreet, even if sometimes they had color or they had also gold bracelet. But this one, due to the alternating surfaces of polished godron and satin brush element, then you have a reflection, and the watch is really visible. When you wear it, this watch, the Polo watch, is catching the light. So in fact, you are visible, and it's also, I guess, one of the success of this watch is that you can recognize it from a bit far away.
Yeah, I will totally agree with you, because it's very striking even in white gold, which is not the shiniest metal, but you can recognize it. Also, I love the fact that on the clasp, on the end of the bracelet, it's also polished on the link, and it's something very cool.
And if you look about the bracelet, you really see, we will see after, that the way Piaget family did this watch is really like a piece of jewelry, because you have a kind of clasp system which is really like a piece of jewelry, more than today when we used to have, for instance, another kind of buckle to close a watch, which is more watch oriented.
Yes, for sure. If you take all the sports watches from that period of time, they all had deployant and different than this. And so, talking about Piaget Society, we're in Gstaad. It's a very important place. What can you tell me about it? What's interesting about it?
Well, what you have to know is that Piaget did a lot of events in Gstaad, especially in the palace, because the family used to go where the clientele used to live or used to enjoy. And Monsieur observed that most of the time when they were introducing new collection, it was a dinner, but that maybe it was missing something. So after he had some trips in Paris, where he also see the entertaining of the city, thanks to theater or musical, he decided to propose to Maurice Chevalier, who used to be a French singer, very famous at that time, to join an event in Gstaad. And then started what we will name the Piaget Society. It means that with the client, with the Maison, with the celebrity, everybody is enjoying together, and the celebrity is not somebody with a part from the society, but it's really within. So everybody will have access to this person. And he started in 1967 in Gstaad, and then of course during the beginning of the 70s, Europe was key, with also the French Riviera, Italian Riviera, and with the Polo, he keep on having this kind of event, especially in New York and in Palm Beach, where the Polo, of course, was really key. And in New York, for instance, he was also thanks to Regine. Regine is a key woman, a queen of the night, we used to say, that had different places in Paris and in New York, where in fact the high socialites used to entertain. And then in these kind of places, of course, Monsieur Piaget invited press, client, and also celebrities with key people such as, for instance, Andy Warhol, or some other like Brooke Shields, like Cornelia Guest. So all those people, they were entertaining together, but they had a real pleasure to be together.
Sure. Yeah, it was a matter that everyone was in the same place, and it was less of there were no barriers. It was very exclusive, but no barriers inside.
So people were invited, they come or they don't come, so the one that used to come finally had a good moment all together, but nothing was, I would say, paid, or nothing was really pushed. It was really authentic and natural in this way.
Yeah, it was kind of friends of the brand before they even existed.
We used to say, in fact, that Monsieur Piaget was social before social media.
Yeah, indeed. I can see. Talking about the new watch, let's take it. So there are some differences, of course. And what can you tell me about it? As a head of patrimony, it has a special place for you, of course.
Yeah, definitively. So what you can see first is that the color of gold is slightly different. This is 2M, this is 3N. So this color of gold is really the color of the 70s. This one is more the color that today fits the request of the market and the trend of today. So it's just a slight difference, but you can feel it from the eyes. Then also what you see is that the model is a bit larger. This one is 34 millimeter. This one is 38. It's also an evolution to be in tune with the today's standards. But it's not too big either, because 38 is not that big. And it has the advantage to be both for men and women. I guess it's a perfect size to fit both. Then you see that here you have the crown, while here you don't have a crown because it was a quartz movement with a battery under. So it's also a key evolution between the two models. Of course, what I told you before is that now you have a real watch clasp system, and at that time it was more a kind of a jewelry approach. That's something that you can find, for instance, on many bracelets. You know, it's like a clasp. You put it inside, and then you close it. But what is still available on both, it was the adjustment. So you could adjust it, and especially at that time, you know, you have a small screw on the side, because it was a piece of jewelry that was sold abroad. And at that time, in the beginning or late 70s, Piaget did not have so many client services all around the world. So it was key that also, for instance, partners such as agent or wholesale, or also sometimes department stores could be able to repair it or to resize it locally without sending back to Geneva.
Yeah, that's also very important.
Yes. So something also you can see on this watch is that well, it's difficult maybe to show on the video, but we have an ultra thin movement, a manufacture movement. The name is 1200p. 1200p makes an echo to the 12p. The 12p, the world's thinnest automatic movement launched by Piaget in 1960. That was only 2.3 millimeter. This one is 2.35, so it's very close to the original. And we have had a number, so it's 1200p1, because the micro rotor is in gold. Usually it is not for the other model, but for that one, for that Piaget Polo 79, we have decided to play the game of gold, because it's really a gold piece. So you can't maybe on the video see it, but in terms of weight, this one is 135 grams. This one is almost 200 grams of gold.
That's that's quite impressive. You can feel it for sure. Wow.
You can feel it, and it's also very interesting to see that we have respected the signature of the Maison. So it means the alternance of polished caudron and satin brush elements. You see also that Piaget has kept on the side small elements to really fit the wrist. So when you wear it, it's immediately it fits well your wrist immediately.
Yeah, indeed, it's wonderful. The last question is, what can we expect from Piaget in the future? Like, you have a very important role as a head of patrimony of keeping the same spirit of Piaget of the past in the future. And what could you say about Piaget in the future? What can we expect?
Well, I think that Piaget will remain focused on its signature. It can be in terms of movement, ultra thin movement. It can be also in terms of gold artwork on such model, but also on the dress watches. You know, Piaget is really leading brand in terms of feminine watches or jewelry watches that can be both male and women. We also have all the jewelry, because Piaget is the very first Swiss maison that moved from watch to jewelry, trying to keep both. And I think what you will discover, even during the 150th anniversary, this is the first surprise of the year, that there will come 2 or 3 others that will be able, I would say, just to reinforce all the strengths of the maison. So our idea was to say, during this celebration, we will celebrate not a chronology, but we will celebrate the key moment of the Maison. The key moment, they could be of style, they could be of a creation, like the Polo 79, or they could be also of a movement. So you will see that, you will discover, and you have to stay tuned.
Yeah, I'm very
much. There will be more candles for on the cake of the anniversary. Yes.
Okay, I'm very much looking forward to seeing the new watches. I'm very curious to see.
So you have to come to Watches and Wonders in Geneva.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fabrizio. Thank you.
Thank you.